Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to bring back and showcase off DoomsDay Amara again. Now, if you didn't see the first video, I went over it before the DLC launched. I'll link to that in the description. And now I'm just going to bring it back updated. I need to rebuild it because I accidentally rolled back all my saves just before the DLC launched. But yeah, this is my Amara build when I just say, hey, I want to make a meta Amara build with like all the tools provided. And this is it, and as you can see from the gameplay, it's disgusting. So I'll just go over the changes and basically just how the save file's set up, because in the description as well you'll find a link to my Discord where you can actually download this save and play it for yourself. Again, as before, times 14. So the main aspect of this build is just maximum damage behind a face puncher, and the interaction between body and mind. So what body and mind does is when we get a kill skill, we create like an orb around an enemy every time we shoot them, which is splash damage. It's not like short fuse. I'll showcase it off in game actually. Let's blow up some of these barrels. So for mobbing, I run ties just because ball gets caught on everything. So here, that big circle there, and you see it's killing everything else as well. That big circle there, we can boost with splash radius with like say area of effect damage on a class mod here or an artifact, which allows us to kill multiple enemies at once with this big ball of damage. And I've got lots of face punches in here. Got 300 over 90 for white elephant bosses. Got a face slam one. Got a Terra Cryo one if you don't want to use URAD. And then another action skill end if you don't want to use URAD or Terra. We do use Terra, melee attacks on the grenade, and then Amara regen here on our front loader. And so what this is going to do is it's going to trigger our URAD, and it's going to mean we're never going to need a reload, because it's 6 mag, which is 3 shots, 5 shots, sorry, if you've got a mag size passive, which isn't very much. You're going to spend a lot of that time reloading, so that's why I run Terra Amara regen here, and because the Amara regen gets rid of the negatives of Terra, which is quite nice. So that's why the times 14 there with Amara regen, and of course we've got a ton of old gods, a Stinger with that while full, melee damage is increased by 50%. That's like a separate melee modifier. It's not just melee damage, so that's really good if you don't want to use a URAD. And then I've got a Snowshoe with ASS here, in case you want to run some Icebreaker shenanigans and just like freeze everything. And of course a one-shotter for bosses. So yeah, that's all the options there, though URAD is going to be the highest damage. Muse, DLC 4 class mod, but of course we can use a breaker if we don't have DLC 4. Of course we're going to need DLC 5, Designer's Cut, it's a purple tree build. And then just like a driver, a dragon, and a phase zerker. I don't know how good they'll be, but they're there. And as for grenades, I run piss grenades, and on thrown one, that'll apply properly to melee. So bonus ASEs, 50% ASEs, they only apply to, say, like static charge and white elephants. They're fantastic for that. Otherwise, they don't scale up with Mayhem scaling, which is another reason why URAD or Terra Cryo is so good, because they do scale with Mayhem scaling. As for the build, I slightly changed it. I don't have fast hands anymore. I've got Violent Tapestry just to try and help with Cryo. I didn't know where to put those points. These 4 points are completely open. Indiscriminate does not work with Face Puncher, but we do have enough in red to grab Ties That Bind. We've got Dread to help with that ammo again. Wildfire just to get us to ties. You don't need it though. Enough green to get Find Your Center. Of course, you can put points into Mindfulness if you want, although I do find I don't actually get shot very much. Personal space doesn't apply to the Face Puncher either. And then we're pretty much over-specced on purple. You can go with the flow here, but I find I don't actually freeze too many enemies, and that's the problem with Unweave the Rainbow as well. So if you do want to use that Snowshoe, you can go with the flow here and increase those. Maxed out no mistakes, since that's always going to be there, and then everything else is pretty much maxed out. 1 point in ebb and flow doesn't really do much, but we need to get down the tree anyway. Heavy rain's of course going to apply to body and mind. Joyful Freedom is free damage. Free the Soul. When it hits, it can kill basic outs, but it's not going to be active too much. It's quite hard to freeze enemies, because Cold Hearted does not work with Illuminated Fist, bear that in mind. I run either Soulfire, Blight Tiger, or Default Shock here. I do not run Cryo because it doesn't work with Illuminated Fist yet. And yeah, those are all the changes. For bossing, we use Phase Flare because Body and Mind doesn't scale off of melee damage, it's a fixed damage. So while it's great for mobbing, for bosses, of course, it's going to drop off. Here we use Phase Flare with whatever element's best. Cryo does work here. And then I use a 300 over 90 Psycho Stabber. What I do is I shoot my ball off to the side so it doesn't hit the boss, then I pull it back towards me, and then I punch it towards the boss, and that'll pretty much kill any boss in the game, almost instantly. Sometimes I'll need to do a second yo-yo, and there shouldn't really be anything surviving that. And I also have a Bull Anoint and a Urad Anoint on Psycho Stabbers as well. Bull Anoint, very good for Wotan. Be careful in Wotan though, the ball's got a maximum HP, 2 full yo-yos, and it's pretty much going to pop. If you want the Bull Anoint on a non-melee weapon, I have one of those too, and that's good for Wotan, because you can do too much damage to that ball and it pops it early, and of course you don't want that, so you want to keep it alive by having a little bit less melee damage. But yeah, the ball is fantastic for bossing, it'll just like annihilate them. And yeah, that's DoomsDay Amara. It's so absurd. It's gonna, melt through Guardian Takedown. The gameplay there is true Guardian Takedown. It's gonna melt bosses. Link in the description to the Wotan kill, where I just bat ball around to kill Wotan. It's really, really powerful. And that's using the base Phase Flare, and then for mobbing you can use any action skill you want. I use Ties because it's very loopable, but you can use Grasp to make it a bit quicker cooldown, or you can use Phase Cast as well if you want Laid Bare to be applying and stuff. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up here. This build is utterly disgusting, and I know I've been getting a couple of messages from people wanting a download, and here it is. It's in the Discord, and also Discord's got a great community, so I'd love to see you there as well. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.